Hey team, welcome to our bartender position specific training video. First, let's go over our position overview so you can get to know your new role. Now, let's review what to expect as a bartender at EATS2SEATS. As a bartender, you could be assigned as a bartender or a barback for the shift. Similar to the cashier-runner relationship, the bartender-barback relationship is very important, and we will review this later in this video. In short, barbacks restock during sales, help ID, and reduce bartender motion waste and increase bartender efficiency. Bartenders facilitate customer transactions, upsell to maximize tip splits for everyone, and build cocktails with their barbacks. In regards to best practices for bartenders and barbacks, a good bartender knows how to handle high-pressure customer situations with grace and composure. They always maintain a calm and professional demeanor, even when we are slammed. Great bartenders also always keep their equipment and prep space organized and clean, and they anticipate customer needs and set up their prep space accordingly pre-shift. As an E2S bartender, the first important aspects we need to cover are specialty cocktails and cup options. These will vary by venue, but in general, you need to be aware of different cup options and their prices pre-shift. For example, we could be selling different types of cups at different prices, like 12 ounce versus 20 ounce cocktail prices. We also could be doing drink specials where we sell cocktails out of a high price shaker cup or a mason jar cup or shots out of a test tube. Moral of the story is, it's very important that you are aware of the cup options you are selling, what goes in them, and their prices. Further, most of our specialty cocktails are pre-mixed. So before the shift, familiarize yourself with your venue-specific menu and understand what mixer requirements go into each. In regards to product displays, a great bartender always has an optically perfect setup. Make sure your beer or Red Bull fridges are perfectly organized into full rows. Also make sure your liquor rails are organized by tiered options if your venue has them. And make sure your fruit caddies and prep space are clean throughout the shift for customer optics. Also ensure that you are perfectly uniform and that you have set up your canned and bottled beer options into speed lines near your prep space so you can grab them easily and reduce motion waste. Utilize your barbacks to maintain an optically perfect sales display throughout the shift. Understanding what bar equipment you have available and how to use that bar equipment is very important. The types of bar equipment you could be utilizing include ice bins, liquor rails, gravity racks, fruit caddies, test tubes, margarita machines, pourers, and jiggers. Jiggers and pourers are used to control the amount of liquor that goes into each drink we make, like 1.5 versus 2 ounce liquor pours, for example. Fruit caddies are used to organize garnishes for beverages like lemons, oranges, or olives. Test tubes are used at concert venues, like at Live Nation, to sell individual shots from the stand. Liquor rails are to organize your liquor offerings, and you should always do this by tiers or prices. Next, let's review bartender do's and don'ts. For our bartender do's, wash your hands all the time, ice your garnishes, change or sanitize your towels often, restock in downtime, clean your countertops, fridges, and bar equipment as you go, engage with customers to maximize tip splits, and have fun. For our bartender don'ts, always scoop with an ice glass and never grab ice with your fingers. Pick up cups and drinks by the rim and not the base of the cup. Remember, you may never self-tip yourself and you will be immediately terminated if you are caught doing this. And never pick up broken glass with your fingers if you drop a glass. Always use a broom and a dustpan. Always remember your bartender do's and don'ts when operating on site. Next, let's dive into general terms you need to know as a bartender at EATS2SEATS. A well are spirits that are housed in the speed rail. They are lower cost than the top shelf, but are most frequently used when making drinks. A call is when a customer uses the specific name of a liquor in a mixer, for example, Tito's and soda or vodka and Red Bull. Then we have top shelf, which are spirits that are of the best quality available, and these are the most expensive and usually placed near the top of the liquor rail or the shelf, depending on your bar. Next, we have our lemon drop drink, which is vodka, triple sec, lemon juice, and then traditionally we garnish it with a sugar rim. This can be made as a drink or a shot. Then we have our martini, which is traditionally a drink made with gin and dry vermouth with an olive or a lemon twist. Then we have our margarita, which is tequila, triple sec, lime juice, or sour mix. Then we have our mules, which are spirit and ginger beer with lime, usually vodka or whiskey. Next we have a Cape Cod, which is a vodka and cranberry type drink. Then we have a Cosmo, which is vodka, triple sec, cranberry, and lime juice. Then we have a Collins, which is a general term for a tall glass or if someone orders a tall drink. Then we have a neat drink, which is a spirit served at room temperature with no dilution from ice or water. Then we have an on the rocks drink, which is a cocktail or drink served over the ice, which means rocks. Then we have our up drinks, which are chilled and strained in our mixer cups and served with no ice because it's in the cup itself. Then we have a tall drink, which is normally out of a Collins glass. And remember here, that's just referring to the type of glass that the customer wants to drink in. Then we have our dirty drinks, which is a gin or vodka martini with an added olive brine. Remember that a garnish is simply referring to the type of fruit or other option that will add to the top of the glass to give it that little extra appeal, like a citrus wedge, fruits, salts, or herbs. If a customer ever orders a drink that is no longer available or sold, we'll call that an 86. Remember that ABV stands for alcohol by volume, and it's our standard measure of alcohol content in a beer, spirit, or other alcoholic product. Remember that build refers to pouring the ingredients of a cocktail right into the glass in which it is served. For example, a Long Island iced tea is usually built in glass. Free pouring, which is something you'll never do as an E2S bartender, is not using a jigger to measure ingredients. This technique relies on counting to yourself to measure the amount of liquid you're pouring correctly, normally by seconds. As an E2S bartender, we will always use a pourer or a jigger to add liquor to our cocktails. Remember that mixers is also anything that is non-alcoholic and added to a drink, but it's not a garnish, like soda, juices, and water. Be sure to familiarize yourself with all of these terms before coming on site. Next, let's review the 5 P's of bartending at E2S. First, we have pride. Have pride in your appearance and the appearance of your product. Also have passion for great customer service and a great drink. Also have preparation. Always set yourself up for success in the stand pre-shift. Always remember professionalism, our 4th P, with every patron and coworker that you interact with. Also always remember presentation and that we drink with our eyes first. Make sure drinks are full and complete with a garnish or a straw. Optics are everything for our staff and our drinks. Next, to briefly review hygiene standards for our bartenders, always ensure you are washing your hands frequently and that you are always wearing gloves whenever you are handling garnishes. Change your gloves after each time you touch a garnish, and overall, be hygienic as an E2S bartender and ensure you handle customer orders with respect in regards to hygiene. Next, let's review best practices for bartenders to exceed at their job responsibilities. First, let's review how to work our handheld point-of-sale systems. These are normally found at beer portables or bars for bartenders. Your site lead will provide your username and PIN number for you to sign in, and remember your PIN number because this is how you will log back in. When making a sale, select a picture of the product you're selling, click checkout, then turn the point of sale to the customer where they will be asked to leave a tip and make payment. If you're ever having any issues logging in or completing transactions, return your point of sale to your site lead to be fixed immediately. The bartender-barback relationship is crucial to your success as an E2S bartender. Pre-shift, you should be assigned to a barback for the shift and you should know their name. During sales, utilize your barback to do whatever you need to reduce cashier motion waste and to facilitate more customer transactions. Overall, barback's main priority is to reduce bartender motion waste so that they can make more transactions by IDing, opening beers, ringing up customers, building cocktails, whatever the bartender may need operationally. Dealing with difficult customers is another important aspect of being an E2S bartender. Some of the guests we interact with may have been having a rough day or some other situation going on and may be difficult to interact with, so always try to be positive and warm to the guests to keep tensions low. If you ever need to deny someone alcohol service because they seem too inebriated, always consult with your E2S stand lead, never tell the customer that they are too inebriated, and always let a supervisor handle those situations and contact your E2S leadership. Overall, remember to always be pleasant even with difficult customers. Next, let's review tips for bartenders to drive more sales and to reap the benefits of that, tip-wise. Always utilize the E2S service script to upsell and to maximize sales. Value the barback relationship, make it a priority to reduce bartender motion waste overall. Bartenders also need to have a personality, engage with customers, and prioritize tip generation for the stand to succeed. Remember, you may never self-tip yourself, even in the pursuit of driving sales and tips for your bar. You'll be terminated immediately if you are caught doing this. Next, let's review general alcohol policies that apply to all of our stands. The general alcohol laws are: never serve more than 2 alcoholic beverages per customer, ID every customer, open every beer we serve, keep the caps and throw them away at the end of the shift, and never serve to a customer that already seems intoxicated. And remember that your EATS2SEATS leadership team will always empower you to say no if you have any concerns as to the inebriation level of the customer. Some draft pour specific notes: remember that you could be serving both draft and canned beer at some venue, and that the same alcohol laws that apply to draft as they do to cans. For draft pours, you'll always tilt the cup to a 45-degree angle, position it 1 inch away from the draft nozzle, pour the draft in the middle of the cup to produce the right amount of foam, and then pull the glass upright as it fills up for a proper draft pour. Also remember that you must have your venue's required alcohol training completed before coming on site, and if your state requires you to be 21 years or older to serve liquor, you may not serve liquor under the age of 21 at EATS2SEATS. Be sure to confirm all of this with your ROD and to submit a copy of your alcohol training certificate on the My Profile or MyTrainings tab of your E2S Staff App before coming on site. Next, let's take a deep dive into the bartender timeline and a general rundown of what to do at each point during your shift. First, let's go over pre-sales responsibilities and what to do immediately once you get on site and before sales start. First, let's review some of the pre-sales responsibilities as an EATS2SEATS bartender. Step 1 is to locate and identify bar inventory needs and essential items. These include ice, alcohol restock, mixers, bar towels, cups, shaker tins, garnishes, jiggers, hand washing stations, trash cans, and a knife and a cutting board for garnishes. Confirm with your stand lead pre-shift if you are missing any of these items. You'll also want to make sure you are coordinated with your bar back, that you have organized your prep and storage space behind the bar, and that you have gotten garnishes cut and ready for drinks, and that you have all essential items located within the bar pre-sales. Always utilize your stand lead or site lead to find these items if you can't find them. Next, let's review responsibilities during sales. Best practices during sales are to clean as you go, keeping your bar tops and tables clean and free of spills, and further, cleaning up spills immediately, washing dishes and utensils as you go, and sweeping up your floor as you go. These will decrease the workload during closedown as well. Always offer great customer service as well, always upsell, and always utilize the 10-5-3 rule to engage with customers during the shift. All of these will really help you out during the shift. Lastly, let's review closedown and check out procedures for bartenders. Closedown will occur at the same time as alcohol cutoff for alcohol portables and bars. Closedown requirements vary by venue, so be sure to confirm these with your stand or site lead before the shift starts. We will always soft close about 30 minutes prior to the shift actually ending. Bartender and barback closedown responsibilities include dumping and draining ice, securing leftover product in warehouses after we do ending inventory counts, compiling all trash and cardboard in front of the stand, and awaiting site lead approval of inventory and stand cleanliness before dismissing for the shift. Once you have been cleared by your site lead on inventory and stand cleanliness, you may be dismissed from the shift. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please text your ROD or email support@EATS2SEATS.com and we will get back to you ASAP. May God bless America, may God bless all of our bartenders, and may God bless EATS2SEATS.